Ladies and gentlemen, we're at Chick-fil-A for breakfast. We're on our way to Daytona International Speedway, and it's going to be unbelievable. Nana doesn't want to be on there.
No.
We are at Chick-fil-A, but we're about to go to Daytona. We're about maybe 2.5 hours away from the track, but we had to stop at McDonald's for some Chick-fil-A. It is gonna be so fun being at Daytona for the entire day. We're gonna stop by the gift shop, and we're gonna go to the Hall of Fame for Daytona, and we're gonna go to the track at Daytona, and hopefully on a kart on the track. So that is gonna be really, really fun, and we'll show you guys videos of it coming up really soon. Bye.
Wow, it's another backseat report.
Yep.
Even at the
Diecast.
Hall of Fame in diecast heaven, you could panic, you could have convulsions.
I don't know.
He's picking memorabilia, he's picking old Jimmy Johnson cars. There's only one car everybody should be buying. Let me show you what they are. One of these three.
Oh my gosh, look at Austin Dillon's hands! Oh my gosh, Nana, come look at this!
Here's the gang
Look at
viewing the winners.
What the? Oh yeah. Oh jeez. Look how small Austin Dillon's hands are! And look at how small his foot is. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Wait, we can take our masks off, yes.
Yeah, right.
So here's some of the track. Here's without Bill France Senior, this is Junior, there would be no NASCAR. And here comes Mr. NASCAR showing us some of the new remodeled track and the injectors that inject the fans in to the Daytona 500. Where are we?
We are at the Hall of Fame for the Daytona 500. Look at this. Right when you walk in, you have a nice wall of different famous NASCAR characters. And then you have that same, or not same stuff, but some more on this side.
Now, Abe, isn't this a drag? This is the drag racing portion of this Motorsports Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Because they've got all kinds of like funny cars right here. And they got
That's what
dragsters. No. No, I'll show you.
And they have some funny cars over here. Then they have some pleasant Christmas stuff. Then, now this is where it gets awesome.
These are off-roads,
Right here.
right?
I can see Denny Hamlin's 2020 Daytona 500 victory car in the back there. I don't know what this is.
That's an off-road racing truck.
You can see the inside. And then you have some speedboats. Is that where they have that big lake at Daytona?
I don't know, Abe.
For that? Oh, kind of cool. And then you have this nice banking with the Dale Earnhardt car and some more motorcycles and funny cars and ARCA cars, Indy car.
So this Hall of
Drag
Fame
racing.
is, if it has a motor and it races, it's in here,
Yeah. This is so
including boats.
awesome. And then you have an awesome Richard Petty right there.
Richard Petty, there it
I
is.
can't believe that is that. can see where Richard Petty drove this car.
Wow, not a lot of safety back in that day,
Yeah.
was there, Abe? They just strap into that seat and that's all you had.
Yeah.
Man.
Then you have a Richard Petty race suit. That's kind of cool. That's pretty cool. Let's keep going. We have a 2000 Porsche race car.
Porsche 911. Wow.
Well, that's pretty cool. And then you have a guitar case of some sort. And then you have a airplane that's flying over you. Then you have more racing tracks right there. And I don't know what that is. Oh, I know what that is.
That's what they fly around.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, look at that. That's how they mark the course for plane racing. Oh, man.
And then we have some sort of boat.
And 14. Or 14.
That looks
Special edition.
What's right here? We have a trophy, a helmet from Chris Carr.
Grand Nationals champ.
And you have a card right here that's signed.
Oop, we're going the wrong way around, guys. We gotta go this way.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah, it's signed.
That's cool.
Look at that, Rick
It
Hendrick,
says 2 something. Colt
Jimmy
Triple.
Johnson, Double J. That's his signature for sure. We have it many times on Nana's stuff.
Yeah, and one of the times Nana was in shock and I had
And there's a Cole Trickle helmet from the movie. Worn by Tom Cruise.
And then a Richard Petty showcase.
That's Wally Dallenbach.
Oh, it looks like Richard Petty.
Oh, you went with the hat. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh, huge.
Why are we always going the wrong way?
You're a track stopper.
6 and counting. Earnhardt Sr.
Okay, I'm so confused. This doesn't. Where are you supposed to go?
Wow, this is cool.
Wow, it is. Look at what's down there.
All
What?
kinds of stuff everywhere.
All magazines down there.
Where is the cool stuff?
Don't bring this stuff out.
Ooh. What's this?
We don't know.
Competition, there's just no one in his level right now, and each win, each lap that he leads, he's gaining more and more confidence, if you can believe that. Look at him. I mean, he's got 2 more laps to go. He's looking over at the crowd.
And now he's about to add a win at Daytona to what has already been an incredible year. It will be the 181st win for Kawasaki, 12th year at Daytona. Austin Fortner does it by winning the 250 East main event at the Daytona Supercross.
Nice. Look at all.
Oh my God, this is over there.
There's the car.
He will.
He battled Ryan Blaney for the win at Daytona, and he got it. Ooh, Nana, look at this. Nana, look at that.
Back when they tore up the track.
What is this?
Look at how big that is.
There it is, Abe, just like it was in Victory Lane.
That thing is huge.
And they blew off the confetti and it all stuck to the car and it's still on it.
Yep, that is awesome.
Well, winners, come look at this.
The Harley J. Earl Trophy. You can't lift that one over your head, can you?
Mm-mm.
That's a monster.
Ooh, what's over here?
Denny Hamlin's car from last year's win. Check the lug nuts violation. Take that wind back. Take that wind back. That's the banking right there, huh? 31 degrees. Man. The fabulous Hudson Hornet. The real one.
That's awesome. Look at the moon.
Yeah, what's up, please?
Nana. Oh, Jesus.
They have you one of those out there.
There's Nana.
Oh, jeez.
I want to get a picture of that. in
She
front of
works
her.
here. She works here at the Hall of Fame now.
Nana's here.
Celebrity judge. Huh.
I can't see my photos.
Whoa!
Don't know why it wouldn't be Janet Guthrie.
Nana, come look at this.
There's the famous Rainbow Warrior.
Hi.
2005 Rusty Wallace. Look at that thing, Abe. That's what they looked like back in the day.
Whoa, I can still
Look
see.
at how they fill it up with the gas.
Yep.
Yeah, that thing looks so heavy.
Look at that. It's bigger than you are. And they're hauling around filling up these
Yeah.
cars.
That's
when they
just
come in.
all motor in
That's
there.
taller than me.
Can you imagine?
And that doesn't even have gas
I
in it.
know. What's it say? The weight.
2,000.
Cubic inches. They look up to 3,000 RPM. 2,000.
Oh wait, that's for the engine.
Drives for all yeah.
Oh wait, look, is this one of the old ones? This is one of the old gas. That's one of the old
Yeah.
Maybe just for aerodynamics. I think it's to be drive it straight. I think this will be directly on the manual transmission. Directly out there, no walking. A lot of the wakeboard boats you see, Mark, are all V drives. Because they come up on planes so
Even about to embark on the Daytona tour. Eve, how you feeling?
I'm really excited at this point. I just want to see Daytona International Speedway for the first time. So yeah.
So yeah.
Nana, how you feeling?
Hey, I feel how I even felt.
Jimmy
I
Johnson
am
was
really
here
excited.
just
Oh yeah.
2 weeks ago. Came over and said hi to the tour. I guess you blew it by 2 weeks.
By 2 weeks. 2 weeks too late, guys.
Yeah.
But you never know who could be here today.
Jimmy's a janitor here now. It's going real well for him.
Jimmy, cover your ears.
All right. Okay, again, my name is Lou. I want to welcome you to the Daytona International Speedway, the world's center of racing. Now, a couple of safety items as we get rolling along here is please remain seated at all times while the tram is in motion. And as you can see right here, we go through a few tight openings now and then, and I want to make sure everybody goes home with everything you brought with you. Like your arms, legs, heads, toes, and noses, so please keep them inside the tram at all times. Now, we'll start out our little history lesson about the track up here on what's called Upper Rim Road. Rim Road goes all the way around our 180-acre infield. The whole property that the Speedway sits on consists of 480 acres. In that infield, you have a 2.5-mile super speedway, a 1.06-mile road course. Got all kinds of camping, garage areas, Gatorade Victory Lane, and more. You also got a 29-acre man-made lake over there. That's where Mr. France got all the dirt to build the speedway with. He earthed up over 1 million cubic yards of earth and built the high banks and raised the infield. Now, if you haven't been here before, or you've only seen the track on TV, you may not get a good appreciation for what 31 degrees of banking actually looks like. So what I'm going to do is let you drop the chains towards that white wall right there and just take a look over the wall. It's a look that you won't get again. So go ahead and take a look at 31 degrees of banking.
I would have got it, hon.
Can you get it? Oh, I can't get it because he's holding the camera. What do you think?
That is...
Holy cow.
Oh, wow.
You can imagine what the drivers and stuff go through running around this track.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Dave, what do you think of that?
It's literally nothing like that what you guys can see on the camera.
No, TV doesn't do it any
It's like,
Yeah.
So as we're going around, and if you've seen things on TV but you don't see them out here while we're driving around, I'll guarantee you it's here. It just looks different in person.
Yeah.
wow.
One of the things you look at as we go around is all these different roads in here. They were all just being used during the go-karts when they were here. We have 5 different road courses in the infield, and they can run them all at the same time.
Cool.
Where's Mike Bagley stand when he is that the flat? Is that the announcers?
That's one of the announcers.
Yep.
They're all over the place.
Okay.
There's a bunch of them. There's one to your right over here in turn 4. Right on the inside wall right there.
Oh,
See
got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Now to give you an idea how big the infield is, standing where you are directly across the turns 1 and 2 in the same spot, that's 1.1 miles away. From the finish line to your right over there by the stands to the back stretch over here is 3/4 of a mile. That's what gives you 180 acres. And if you look at the different size of here, if you can imagine with no buildings in the infield, you could bring every professional sporting stadium from the United States here, line them up end by end, side by side, wiggle them in the corners, still have room for the lake. That's how big the infield is.
Wow.
That's
And I have a play
It's huge. Yeah, don't lose it up down there.
Daytona 500 here. He held that first one just in front of about 41,000 people. Again, if you look across the infield there, that's what 101,500 individual seats look like now. There are no more benches, no more bleachers. They're all nice, comfortable seats. And again, if you look how the multicolored seats are, makes it look like people are sitting in every one of them seats. I'm going to start out with a little pre-recorded message from 3-time Daytona 500 winner Jeff Gordon. Once he's done, we should be on the backstretch, and I'll pick up from there.
Hi, this is 3-time Daytona 500 champion Jeff Gordon. I'm pleased to welcome all of you to Daytona International Speedway. Nearly 60 years ago, small-town auto mechanic named Bill Grant Sr. dreamed of creating a racetrack that was bigger, faster, and more exciting than any before it. In the ensuing decades, his belief in big dreams transformed Daytona International Speedway into the world's center of racing. Synonymous with names like Petty, Earnhardt, and Allison, Daytona International Speedway has captured the imaginations of the millions who have set foot on these hallowed grounds. Now, Bill France's dream has taken yet another step forward with the reimagination of this American icon, blending the modern amenities that today's sports fans demand with the heritage that race fans expect from Daytona. As 2016 saw the closest finish in the history of the Great American Race, it not only conjured memories of Johnny Beauchamp and Lee Petty's 3-wide photo finish in the inaugural 1959 Daytona 500, but reminded race fans everywhere that a reimagined race experience hadn't changed the core of what Bill France envisioned decades ago. Welcome to the World Center of Racing.
You're on the
Okay, we just entered on our backstretch here. We're at the end of our backstretch, which is 3,000 feet long.
Wow.
And it goes into the beginnings of turns 3 and 4 here at our speedway.
Even on the track at Daytona.
Exactly the same as turns 1 and 2.
Now here we are. We're coming
So
up.
3,200 feet around. The banking will go up to 31 degrees. And as you
31.
if you haven't noticed before, the track
It looks
racing
like
surface goes from the double yellow lines up to that first flat wall up there. And it looks a lot wider on TV, but that's all it is 40 feet wide. And you wonder how these cars get going 2 wide,
3 wide.
3 wide, and every once in a while, over 200 miles an hour, they will try 4 wide. Well, 4 wide at our track here doesn't work very well. That's where all those dents in that wall up there come from. That wall above your head right now is like the roof on a 4-story building. And that wall is hollow steel welded together in sections. It's held to the outside wall by straps. In between the 2 walls, there's styrofoam pyramids. All that is known as part of what's known as the SAFER barrier. SAFER stands for steel and foam. Energy reduction systems. What's nice about that wall is now when a car does hit it, it will actually move. It'll compress the styrofoam pyramids and absorb a lot of the energy from an accident. It'll still tear apart a car pretty good at over 200 miles an hour, at least more times now than before. The drivers do exit their wrecked vehicles and walk to the emergency equipment, and that's the most important part, is the safety of the drivers. And that's why we put it on the inside guardrails too, because a few of the drivers like going off in the grass here doing a little agricultural race. So we gave them something soft to bounce off of on that inside guardrail
I
too.
knew it was steep, but not like that, you know.
Yeah.
Now I mentioned that first race, February 22nd, 1959, held in front of just over 41,000 fans. Well, you're about ready to see what every driver has seen here since 1959, and that's coming out of turn 4. We're going to get lined up and get ready to go down our 3,800-foot front stretch here. That's being cheered on by 41,000 fans. You're now being yelled at and screamed at by
You won, Abe. Wave to your fans.
500 individually seated fans. No more benches, no more. And you'll see how nice it is. You'll see what $400 million did to make that a nice place to sit down once we're done with the infield here. Now again, if you haven't been here before and you've only watched the race on TV, you may have watched the drivers do their victory celebrations at the start-finish line. They'll do their burnouts and then they'll get out of the car, walk over, get the flag. And as they're doing all that, that whole front stretch looks flat on TV. Well, we're about ready to start approaching the finish line. You're going to see that it's actually not flat at all. It's actually banked at 18 degrees, just a little over half of what our corners are. And so that you get a good feel for that, I'm actually going to come up here, come to a stop, to let you get out and feel what 18 degrees of banking feels like to walk up and down. Then you can imagine what that 31 degrees of banking feels like. Now, please, if you have any issues with uneven ground, I recommend you stay close to or on the track. For the younger ones, please
Nana
don't
sang
running,
this last time.
pushing, pulling hair, poking eyes, anything like that, because this blacktop is a lot harder than your highway blacktop. It's a lot coarser too, so I don't want anybody to get hurt. So go ahead and drop the chains towards the track
I got a mark.
only, and get out and feel what it feels like.
No, you can't.
Oh my God.
What do you think, Abe?
Crazy. Oh.
What do you think, Abe?
gonna fall down.
It's pretty steep, huh?
That is steep.
It's like you're trying to walk up the tallest mountain ever.
Yeah. It's steep.
But it's
This is steeper
it's
than one in
actually
Texas.
hard
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you don't have grippy shoes,
Yeah. See
like
that?
flip flops.
I'll take it with you.
Careful, you.
There's nobody up there.
So this is where the guy.
Make it big letters.
I think he wants to stay right
We
there.
want to sign the white of the finish line, or
Avon, you want to sign?
the yellow line over here. You can.
I see.
Do not. I see people have already wrote on the wall. The painters are going to be mad. Don't write on the wall.
On the white. Get a picture of him. That's
See
all.
the tire marks here. You might want to write on the yellow stripe to make it easier. If you are going to write your name, make it big.
Yeah. Come on, Abe.
Avon is on the track. His name will be right there for the Daytona 500, ladies and gentlemen. Put the date, Abe.
Yeah.
What's the date?
Okay.
January 2nd.
1.
1/2/21, baby.
Okay.
Nice. Nice job.
Wait. Watch this thing roll down.
No,
give it
you
back
gotta
to
give
him.
it back.
Yeah, give it back. Well, you might.
Be careful, you.
It's fun to watch all that, or look at all the signatures on you.
Yeah.
All right, we all good?
Yep.
Okay, gangs. What do you think so far, Abe?
This is awesome.
Isn't this cool?
Yes.
Look at those folks up there. I wonder if we're gonna be part of those guys at some point.
Now you feel what this feels like. Again, imagine walking up and down that 31 degree banking in the corner.
He'd be crawling up there.
If you really want to feel what this feels like, I'm not sure when they're coming here again. I think it's next weekend. Too bad you were not going to be here next weekend. We have what's called the NASCAR Racing Experience. That's where you can pay to jump in a real race car. They would take you around this track at about 175 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
You would feel exactly what a race car driver feels, because you see this banking and stuff. Same thing with hills and stuff where you come from. The slower you go, the more violent the banking is. It just feels like you're going to fall and stuff like that. But at race speed, you feel the same thing a fighter pilot feels. When he pulls back on that stick and starts to go up, his body compresses. He starts feeling what's called G-forces. And that's where the pressure of the banking, the curve, and the speed you're going at pushes you straight down into the seat of your car. So it actually fakes your brain out a little bit, thinking that the track is flat. And then when you slow down again, that's when you really get the violent jerks back and forth. And again, during that riding experience, you get to feel exactly what they feel and how they feel it. And then if you think that you're good enough at that, next time you come back, you keep in the back of your mind how it felt, pay a couple extra dollars, you can actually drive one of those race cars if you want to. And it's a blast, I'm going to tell you right now. Now you got to understand, if you're the passenger in the vehicle, you're going this way down the front stretch at 175 miles an hour. You're the passenger in the vehicle. Guess where that wall is? Right there. And it's passing you at 175 miles an hour. As soon as you, the reason why I tell you about the G-forces in the corners, because a lot of the people that take those rides, they won't open their eyes. So I want you to know when you're in the corners, number one. Number two, should you open your eyes, you actually probably going to start freaking out a little bit. You can't help it. You're going to see that wall that close. You look over to your driver, make sure he's doing everything he's supposed to do, and he's actually steering with his knees, checking Facebook halfway down. So you really start to freak out, and you're going, oh my God, I hope nobody sees me. Well, actually, they do. Because you can take all that panic home and show your friends, because we videotape everything you do inside. And it's a blast. It really is. So it's not as scary as it sounds, but it's a blast. I'm going to tell you what, your heart rate will go up because of it. And just to give you an idea of what this banking feels like at slow speed, I'm going to jump up on the banking about 9 degrees. You're going to swear it's this 18. And it's because you're sitting down. When you're standing up walking, your brain can adjust to every part of your body to keep you level. When you're sitting down, your brain's got nothing to adjust. So that's why things feel worse when you're sitting down. So especially the little ones and all that, and any bottles or water bottles or anything like that, make sure you're hanging on to it, okay? Don't want you to lose it when I go up in the banking here. And if you don't know the person you're sitting next to, might be a good time to introduce yourself.
Get down here so it's not. All right, here we go.
Here we go. Oh no.
Hang on. This is awesome. Oh jeez.
All right, well, that's what the driver feels like going around here under
We're
caution.
crunching each other.
That's why they don't like when there's a caution, because they do feel the full weight of the pull of the earth on their body. Again, at race speeds, they don't feel that.
Oh jeez.
They actually feel the G-forces that just push them flat down into the seat of the car. Again, if you do go for a ride with one of the professionals here during the racing experience, that wall to your right, that's how close that wall is to you at 175 miles an hour. We're going to break through the cones up here. Up here is where we tie our infield road course to our super speedway. It was being used this last weekend. This is where the World Karting Association, where they dove off and turned the turn right here. They go into the infield road course. They go around that road course for about 1.1 tenths of a mile. They'll come right back out over here at the out section and go up into turn 1 and continue all the way around the super speedway. That's what gives us our 3.56 mile road course. Again, we use that road course quite a bit. We use it for the Rolex, the sports cars. We use it for the motorcycles. We use it for the go-karts. And we use it for the triathlons that we run here. We actually use the super speedway for the bicycles. They run on the road course. And as a little bit of a joke, they jump in the lake.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The next time you see a race here, you're gonna really appreciate it. Whether it's on TV or
All right, we're going to be going backwards down pit road here at our speedway now. Pit road 1,600 feet to your right. The concrete area where the white wall is called the pit stall. You see that the pit stalls aren't very long. You wonder how these cars at 55 miles an hour come in here. They slide into their pit stall there. The guys jump off that wall. They'll run around one side of the car, jack it up, put 2 tires and a can of fuel to the car. Drop it, run around the other side, another 2 tires and another can of fuel.
It would be fun to sit on.
Drop it, and away the car goes, and it was only just under 15 seconds. That equals to 4 tires and 22 gallons of fuel in 15 seconds. All right, the building to your right, the Chevrolet building, that's the original Victory Lane here at our speedway. Up until the hurricanes of 2004 went through. Once they went through, we built a new one because that Victory Lane was the only building left standing in our infield, so we reconfigured everything. Put the new Victory Lane to your left right here. As we go by the gate there, you're going to see the checkerboard ground, the stage where all the excitement happens in there. Now this little wall to your right, that's how high the water was in here during those hurricanes. Well, you're going to get to see Victory Lane a little closer. I'm just making a different approach to it. We're going to go in the blue garages here called the Xfinity garages. We have 2 sets of garages, the Cup Car garages and the Xfinity garages. Each garage has its own fueling station, its own tire billing, Got its own inspection stations. These garages here are just nose-to-nose garages, nothing fancy about it, but you're going to see the difference between these and the Cup car garages here in a minute, because we're going to go into what's called the fan zone. This fan zone's another product of those 2004 Hurricanes. They decided to rebuild the infield. They started out with this little village right here called the fan zone, and then they went ahead and put the garages on both sides of the fan zone so that if a race team is doing double duty between the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, the easiest way to get from one point to the other is a straight line. So they're always running through here, going back and forth between the garages, depending on what car they're testing or running at the time. Some of you must have moved some of these benches testing my driving skills, but we'll get there. So what I'm going to do right now, instead of stopping over where we were supposed to, I'm going to stop here, gives us a little better look at stuff. We're going to make a quick walk around the fan zone here. Let's go.
Everything in our infield. By the time the fourth one went through, the only building that was left standing that was salvageable was the original Victory Lane. That was the only block building we had. Everything else was those old style metal Butler buildings type things, you know, the round tunnels and the very sweet metal top. Well, once they did it, they cleared it out and they said, you know, we can make the best fan experience around at the time for racing. So they created this village. Again, they put the Xfinity garages over there. You'll see what the Cup car garages look like when we get over on the other side. Most of the teams, that's all they do is walk back and forth in here because they're racing and qualifying stuff in both divisions. So they're constantly walking back and forth. You see right here, this is all pit road. That's how close you get to pit road. So you're watching the cars during the race slide in there. The guys jump over the wall. A lot of times they got nothing to do with a blown up tire or something like that. You might see it come flying over the wall here for somebody to grab. We did a little different on this side. We built them like a horseshoe around this side of the fan zone. So while you're walking around in here, we put viewing windows in every bay so you can walk around, find out where your favorite race team's working on their car. You watch them work on the car. If you haven't had a chance to meet your driver or the crew chief or whatever, and you happen to see them in the garage, that's why we put the little pass-throughs underneath the windows. So if you want to get an autograph, you can pass a hat, shirt, small child, arm, leg, whatever you want to sign, you can pass them in there. On top of the garage, all the way around, is a deck. It's called the fan deck. So not only do you see the cars in the garage, but all the way around, you watch them coming and going off the track. You can watch the teams come from across the parking lot behind the number 44 garage, because on the other side of the road, that's where you'll see all those multi-million-dollar motorhomes. That's the owner and driving family over there. So you never know who you're going to see at any time walking around here. The reason why we put the media center right here, because guess where all the celebrities are? They're over in the 500 Club in Victory Lane, so the only way they get interviewed on TV, we force them to walk right through here to go to the media center. So we're trying to give the fans more access to that. So it's a pretty good deal. Now, I promise you, let's take a quick look. Now, do me a favor when we go in this garage. Don't go past the yellow car. I think it's the 16. These are the cars that you can actually ride in. They're actually retired race cars.
Guys, come back here with us. Guys,
I'm doing what we
I know you're excited. Jesus. Go ahead.
Oh, it's cool. Thank you.
Be careful you don't trip over the cords, okay?
Oh, wow.
They're cool. Woo-hoo. Sounds like they're riding that.
These are what you drive.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just don't go past the number 16, okay? Because by rights, we're not supposed to be in here, and I don't want to. I'm going to keep everybody by the door. If I see somebody coming, I'm going to run.
Okay.
Now, these are real race cars. They're retired. What it is, they're about 10 years old, some of them. Some are newer. They start out at Gen 4, and right now we're on Gen 8, so that tells you how often we change cars, not a lot. What we've done with these cars, we've taken them off the track, sent them back to Richard Petty Motorsports, they adjust the roll cage for us so we can put the spare seat into it. They put a smaller fuel tank in it and a bigger fire bottle. This way it's safer for what we're using them for. The real 660 horsepower race cars, that means that over 400 horsepower right those rear wheels.
Look at all this debris.
If you got any questions, don't be afraid.
It's a good paint job.
That's awesome.
How often do they change like regulations for motors and stuff like that? Like every year, right?
Door closed and you happen to be on this side of the door, you will now lose your starting position. You start banging on the door, yelling and screaming, trying to come up with excuses. NASCAR will then fine you because they don't care about excuses. And they'll fine you about $25,000 before you get in it. Now again, I mentioned the driver and owner's camping area. That's this little camping area right behind the black fencing there. You get to see all the families and stuff. The blue and red building to the left, just past that camping area, is our infield care center. It's a mandatory stop for any driver, no matter how minor the accident may be. They got to go there, be checked out, and released by the medical staff. To your right, the east end of our infield road course. If you hear it mentioned on TV, they'll refer to it as the International Horseshoe Loop, but that's how close you get to the racing surfaces around here. You can actually watch the drivers in the cars or the motorcycles go around there. The drivers are working hard to slow down enough to make that turn and keep going.
Yeah.
Now throughout the rest of the infield here, now throughout the infield here, the rest of it you see is camping. Got over 1,100 campsites in here. Camping seems to be the way to go because if you are a camper, you have to get on a waiting list because most of the people that camp in the infield here come back the following year. They get first choice. That lake to your left is Lake Lloyd. That's a man-made lake. That's where Mr. France went over there again to build this speedway with. Now it's called Lake Lloyd for a reason. That's because of a gentleman named J. Saxton Lloyd. Used to own the Cadillac and Buick car dealership here in Daytona back in the day. He was actually good friends with the France family. He employed Mr. France as a mechanic at his dealership when he first started out. And then when Mr. France decided to build his own garage and start his own racing career, he had Mr. Lloyd help sponsor some of his race cars. And then when it came to building the Speedway here, towards the end of the build, the France family ran out of money. They went back to the banks. The banks wouldn't loan them any more money. They said you had too many loans already out. You're going to need a co-signer. So they went to their good friend, Mr. Lloyd. He co-signed for the last parts of the loan. Got the money to finish the Speedway with, and to say thank you, they dedicated the lake in the name of Mr. Lloyd. Knowing that every time we talk about the Speedway, we also talk about the lake and let everybody know how important Mr. Lloyd was to the completion of the lake. We're over here at the west end of our infield now. You see to the right the west horseshoe loop of our infield road course, and again how close they come right to you as they're going around that corner. To the left, turns 1 and 2 of our super speedway. I said that they looked exactly the same as 3 and 4. They do.
Wow, look at this.
And that's because we
Look at that turn.
made sure there were no more privacy fences. We wanted to make sure the fans could see the racing surface, whether it be the road course or the super speedway, no matter where they went around the racetrack. It is a lot of fun to be here, especially for the nighttime race in August, the Coke Zero Sugar 400. That's a 400-mile nighttime race. That's what we light the place up. Moments. Now, NASCAR was first on TV in 1979. The TV people said, I know how you NASCAR guys are. I want you to act like gentlemen. Well, to your left, the famous fight of '79. That's how they greeted the TV crew. In the middle of the race, they had a little accident. Cale Yarborough and the two Allison brothers started duking it out, and that's what they showed for about 20 minutes on TV. The last photo coming up on the left-hand side is the photo finish from the first Daytona 500. The car closest to the line was Mr. Joe Weatherly. He was actually going a lap down, the car in the middle. Actually won the race that day. That was the number 42, and it was driven by Mr. Lee Petty, the father of the King, Richard Petty.
Lee Petty, wow.
Unexpected turbulence.
Okay, we're on the west end of our property now. This over here at the west lot.
This is where we
holds another 900 campsites over here. It's also where gate 40 is. Should you want to come back and go into the infield for the driving experience, whatever, you would go to there off of Williamson Boulevard. Or maybe over here to watch one of our flat track racing going on. We have a quarter-mile flat dirt track over there. That dirt track was just used by the go-karts this past couple of weeks. And in October, it was used by the American Flat Track Racing Association. That's where
we walked up here.
The flat track motorcycle finals were. You only had adjustable metal stairs to get up inside. Well, now you got poured concrete stairs. You got escalators and elevators. Instead of having 5 different sections to the seating venue, it's all one straight through section, so you can walk basically for a mile. On each floor, there's 4 floors that are open to the public. No matter what time of year you go by here, there's always lights on. That's because we do a lot with solar power here. We're going underneath one of the larger solar pavilions right now. We have over 7,000 solar panels. We produce enough electricity to power up 1,000 single-family homes. Each entrance has a sponsor, which is great for our guests because you get greeted when you get here. If you have any questions, the sponsor will be happy to answer. And every once in a while, they're handing out goodie bags, so you never know what you may get or see while you're here. Now, we're going to be going up in this next section right here. Now, please do not leave anything of value behind on the tram because we're not going to be able to see the tram once we're up inside. So make sure you take all your valuables with you. Once I come to a stop, you can head for the gate. I'll get over there and get it unlocked, and we'll get up on the first floor there. And you can take a look around, go sit in some of the chairs, see how nice and comfortable it is. And if you wanted to walk around this whole facility during any point during the race, you won't miss anything because there's over 2,200 TVs throughout this whole seating venue. So, to the right, to the gate, and I'll be right back.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay?
No,
Is that where I hold on?
yeah.
Take me down?
Do you remember when I put you on one of these?
There's controversy at Daytona. We're talking about Nana taking Avon down, holding on.
Yes.
What's going on here?
Remember we did the Denver airport? And the first time you were on, your legs were going stretching right out. You're going, Nana! And the guy behind you scooped you up and saved you. I didn't know that you were afraid of him.
Let's go. We are at Daytona.
I think he said.
Go through there, eh? Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Can we go through here? Hey, Nana, I'm going to beat you to the finish line.
Look at they took the start finish line right up here. I bet you that goes right down to the track. Let's see. Abe, let's see if this victory lane goes right down to the track.
It does.
You should see it in here. If you're in the back, so here
that that's where the finish line is, but I don't know if it goes all the way down. Look, Manhattan.
That meant you were stuck on these little metal walkways, so if you came in.
Can we go down there?
I think you can. And you can sit if you want to. Go ahead.
Let's go.
You want to go down?